Welcome back to the Tuesday Traffic Jam. We are glad you could join us during rush hour traffic. I'm Ryan Brown and I'm a principal planner here at the MPO. I've worked at the MPO for the last 3 years. I received my bachelor's degree in environmental science and master's in urban and regional planning from Florida State University. I'm here with my co-host Nancy. You may remember her from episode 1.
Hi everyone, it's good to be back. And well, we have a great show today. We're going to have a conversation about economy, tourism, environment, and conservation. There are such important topics in the transportation field. There are many intersections between transportation and the economy, as well as the environment. The road network not only connects products to the consumer, but it also connects people to tourist destinations, like my favorite place, the beach, but also to spring training.
That's right, Nancy. Environment and conservation are also important to keep in mind when planning for transportation. How we build and maintain the roads is critical to the region's environmental health. These things have been a hot topic amongst people in the region. We've received a lot of comments from the public related to the environment and the economy. Today, we have two experts that will help us dive deeper into these areas. Please welcome Rob Brown and Virginia Haley. Will you please take a minute to introduce yourself and share what you believe is the biggest transportation challenge we face today?
Thanks, Ryan. My name is Rob Brown, and I'm currently the Parks and Natural Resources Department of Environmental Protection Division Manager. I've worked for Manatee County for the last 32 years, and prior to that, I was a research scientist at Mote Marine, which everybody's familiar with. I believe a few of the biggest transportation environmental challenges we have today is the lack of efficient mass transit and impacts on transportation infrastructure due to the effects of climate change. Efficient mass transit in our region could effectively reduce congestion that we all experience every day and improve our air quality by reducing carbon emissions. Just recently, it was demonstrated this past April during the COVID-19 pandemic, when globally we observed as much as 17% reduction of atmospheric carbon dioxide due to the lockdown when the majority of the transportation activities were halted. Also, our transportation infrastructure is being adversely impacted by environmental conditions associated with climate change. This includes roads, bridge approaches, and stormwater systems being inundated by sea level and more intense storm events.
Hi, I'm Virginia Haley. I have the honor of being president of Visit Sarasota County. We are the private sector organization that promotes Sarasota tourism for the whole area. Our biggest challenge is that except for the height of season, the end of February through Easter, visitors find it very convenient to get around the area using their personal vehicle, supplemented with Uber or Lyft. The big exception to this is the incredibly popular Siesta Key trolley that visitors love to use once they are on that island and enjoying America's #1 beach.
All right, it's great to have you both here today. My first question is for you, Virginia. As you may know, one of the MPO's vision statements is to promote opportunities, which includes attracting employees to the region. In what ways can the MPO and tourism work together to achieve this vision?
The tourism industry is challenged with getting employees from their homes to the tourism businesses, especially on the barrier islands. Not only does this create more traffic, but it impacts the very limited parking on the islands. Many of the employees are also working unusual shifts, say 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., where there just is not a practicable public transportation option. An opportunity would be how to move visitors to and from the barrier islands. Could we utilize rubber wheel vehicles with high frequency runs over the bridges, or even a water taxi service? We've seen some hotels that are renting electric bikes to their guests, and those are very popular. So that could be a real offering during the height of season. Finally, we oftentimes look at visitor movement throughout Sarasota County, and our data shows that no matter where a visitor is staying, Englewood, Venice, Siesta, Longboat, they take at least 75% of them take at least one trip to the city of Sarasota. What does that mean in terms of transportation planning? We also look at our sports venues that host large events throughout the year, such as Nathan Benderson Park in the northern part of the county or Foxley Farms in Venice. Our international visitors to these venues are often quite surprised that there's not a robust transportation system other than to rent a car or a van. I think there's real opportunities to be creative with these large major international events.
Great, thanks, Virginia. Those are some really interesting ways to build partnerships to achieve this common goal. There's also the potential to partner with these businesses and develop a system that meets these workforce transportation needs, like van pooling or premium transit. We received a lot of comments from the public asking for more information about affordable housing. There's an opportunity to work with businesses and housing developers to find ways to make these accessible to those who need it. Just switching gears, since starting this long-range transportation planning process, we've received a lot of comments from the public expressing their environmental concerns. Honestly, no one has been louder than our millennials and folks under 45. It is clear the environment is of great importance to the people in Sarasota and Manatee. And it is no surprise considering our beautiful natural resources that attract visitors from all around the globe. Rob, I know that Manatee County is a partner in Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council and also participated in a region-wide vulnerability assessment to assist in prioritizing critical infrastructure. Some of those findings were actually used in our long-range transportation plan. Can you tell the audience a little bit about the coalition, the study, and some of the outcomes?
Sure, I'd be glad to. First, the community leaders in the Tampa Bay area saw the need to collectively begin to address sea level rise and climate resiliency in our area. The initiative evolved into the Tampa Bay Regional Resiliency Coalition. Currently, there are 6 counties, including Manatee, 23 cities, including City of Sarasota and cities of Bradenton, and many businesses and stakeholder partners. Even though Sarasota County is not within the boundary of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, they have been invited to join the coalition, and we hope they will become a member soon. It's understood that this collaboration will strengthen our region's ability to plan for the changing climate, reduce impacts, and secure increased levels of federal funding to support resilient infrastructure improvement, adaptation and mitigation programs which protect our communities, property, and economy. Participating in the Resiliency Coalition will enhance counties, cities, and stakeholder organizations' understanding of changing risk and best practices and policies for increasing resiliency. Some of the activities that have been accomplished to date include the development of working groups, such as the Resilient Shorelines and Spaces Work Group, the Planning and Policy Work Group, and the Clean Energy Work Group. The coalition has adopted the regional sea level rise projections developed by the local Tampa Bay Science Advisory Panel and have been successful with partners in getting private, state, and federal grants. Some of these grants include the 2018-2019 Peril of Flood Project, which is funded by the Florida Resilient Coastlines Program in the Florida Coastal Office of the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and the Resilient Tampa Bay Transportation Grant, which is a federal highway administration grant to conduct a regional transportation vulnerability analysis. The products that are developed by these working groups and the findings from the grants, we hope will be shared with the partners for use within their own jurisdiction.
Well, that was a great conversation. So we talked about different ways that we can help local workers get to and from that barrier islands, and different ways transportation can help with that, alternative methods of transportation, and then as well as the environmental impacts as we're dealing with climate change and sea level rise. And the region is already addressing those issues, so it's great to see that there is the conversation's already started on that. So with that in mind, I'd like to close with one last question. Do either of you have ideas about how we can create a transportation system that meets the needs of the workforce, attracts, both employees, residents, and visitors alike, while also protecting and conserving our precious natural environment?
That's a great question, and it's not just the transportation development. I believe we have to develop smarter. We have to have communities that are built for people, not for vehicles. We need to build communities that are walkable, that we can live, work, and play in those communities without having to get in a car and go somewhere else. So, combining, I understand the transportation folks are trying to keep up with the development, but I believe we in local governments need to do a better job at developing smarter.
One of the challenges and opportunities remains that people who live here, people who visit here, are still going to want to get to our beautiful beaches. So while we have opportunities on future development, I think if we can think about moving 10% of our visitors and encourage them to leave their cars behind, we'd see a pretty great improvement. Now, visitors have made it clear they are not really interested in buses, and we don't know if the virus changes their positive attitude towards trolleys. But even if that 10% of visitors could walk or bike, it'd be a great benefit to the region and our employers.
All right, thank you both so much and helping us take a deeper dive into the equity and livability of our region and our communities. If anyone has any questions or comments, as always, you can leave them in the comment box below. We will address what you send us at the beginning of the next episode. And don't forget to let us know how we did. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, thank you both for spending time with us here today on Tuesday Traffic Jam. If you go to www.mympo.org, you'll see a question at the top, and it's how would you spend $5 billion in transportation? Because that's roughly how much that the MPO can involve in any of these topics, especially environment and conservation and equity and livability, like we've discussed here today. Below are some buttons. The first will take you to the community needs map, where you can drop a pin on any location and leave a comment. The other will take you to the Tuesday Traffic Jam's webpage, where you can see a list of all available episodes. Here you can click the participate button for each episode and watch the podcast. Download the documents that are available for you to review and comment.
Before you go, the next episode of Tuesday Traffic Jam will be posted on July 28th. In the meantime, don't forget to check out the available planning documents and let us know what you think. On that note, thank you everyone again for joining us for your Tuesday Traffic Jam. Have a great day, and whether you drive, walk, bike, or ride transit, please be alert and stay safe. Bye.